What's up, fellow Saiyans, and welcome to episode 61 of my Marvel United Minipaints. Today we're doing Lady Deathstrike. Real name's Yuriko Oyama, and she is mainly an enemy of Wolverine. She first popped up originally on Daredevil, and then Alpha Flight, and she has a big rivalry with Wolverine. And once she saw how his adamantium was, she goes to the mutant spiral, gets the adamantium bonding process, and then gets razor sharp adamantium claws. But for her skin, we're just going to use elven flesh, and it's just going to be on her face and her hands. She's one of the original members of the Reavers. Now for her hat and her vest, I'm going to use desert yellow. Now for the base, other than with the piece of broken stone that she's directly standing on, I'm going to use Necromancer Cloak. And I'm going to get that on both sides. Now she wears like a red bandana thing underneath her hat. For this, I'm going to use Dragon Red. And usually with Dragon Red, it's kind of a liquidy paint, so it's going to take at least 2 to 3 coats. This also is applied to her belt and her sash. Now I'm moving back down to the base to let that dry a little bit, and I'm going to use Uniform Gray, which is the color she was primed in, but I'm going to use this for the piece that she's standing on. Now for the rest of her costume, it's like mainly her shirt, and a little bit like it hangs down a little bit underneath. But I'm gonna use mummy robes because it's like a really bright tannish. So to do this, I'm gonna use mummy robes with a wash over top of it to make it kind of a lighter color instead of using just paint itself. There's a few pieces on the base with like metal and rebar sticking out. I'm going to use weapon bronze for that. Now I'm going to take the detail brush and I'm going to go over, just start cleaning up all the details, making sure all the colors in the right spot. I'm going to take, last thing I'm going to do is take matte white and I'm just going to dot her eyes. And once this is all finished, it'll be time to start the washing process. So to start the washing process, I'm going to use Flesh Wash, and this is going to be for her skin tone, so her face and her hands. And remember, when using the wash, you don't want any puddles or bubbles. You kind of just want to make sure you go back over it. If you need to, maybe dip it in some water and take some of the wash off. Now for her hat and for the whitish, like that, the mummy robes, we're going to use light tone. We're going to use this for her whole costume except for the red parts. Now for the base, we're going to use soft tone. Actually, we're going to use the soft tone for the hat and tan parts. Almost forgot about that one there. There, now we're going to use red tone for the red. And finally, dark tone for the base. And then we're going to sit there and let her dry for a long time, and it'll be time to start the highlights. Now for the skin tone, I'm going to take Elven Flesh with a little bit of Mummy Robes to brighten it up. And I'm going to use this as the highlight color for her skin, so for the face and for the hands. For the tan parts like the hat and stuff, and the vest and the boots, we're going to use skeleton bone. For the red, we're going to use pure red, like for the bandana underneath the hat and the sash and belt. Now for her outfit or her shirt, for the mummy robes we used before, we're going to use matte white. We're going to use that as the highlight for the mummy, or over top of the mummy robes. Especially now that it's washed, it's going to be a little bit darker. They should brighten it back up. Now finally for the base, we're just going to dry brush ash gray over top of it. And this is going to be Lady Deathstrike. I'm satisfied with how she looks. Like, I'm not a professional artist by any means, but I mean, this works for me. This is I'm satisfied with it. If you like this, you gotta check out my Facebook or my Twitch page. Links down in the comment section below. If you want to get notified of new episodes, hit that subscribe button. Every time a new episode comes out, you get a little ding. And again, I'd like to thank you guys all for watching. And later, Saiyans.